Blessings, everybody. This is Dale. Thank you so much for joining with me today on the Word Podcast. Hey, also thank you for your perseverance in pressing on through the 119th Psalm, all 176 verses of it. An amazing, amazing, amazing psalm. I really would encourage you to make it a pattern and practice of behavior to read that psalm from time to time. It probably would not be bad to just go back and start rereading it again and do so on your own just to see what the Lord has to say to you. I mean, it's an amazing psalm in so many ways, reveals so much about the word of the Lord, reveals so much about the Lord, reveals so much about the psalmist, about us, about man, how we act, how we react, and what we should be doing. I mean, it's just amazing. So, but for now, we're going to press on into the 120th Psalm. And the 120th Psalm starts off with a title. It's got a title, and it says, A Song of Ascents. Ascents, like you're ascending a mountain. A Song of Ascents. And this is the first of a series of Psalms entitled this. I believe it's the Psalms from 120 to 134, so it's like 15 of them that are called this. And they were often sung in a certain time of year, particularly in reference to going to Jerusalem to worship in Jerusalem, going up to Jerusalem, going up to Zion, speaking of the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. You'll see that type of phraseology a lot in the scripture. So the first verse says this, In my trouble, I cried to the Lord, and he answered me. Well, there you go. And this psalm is a little different than some of the other ones we've seen. We've seen many psalms where the psalmist is saying, I'm crying out to God. Lord, I'm in trouble. I'm crying to you. I'm crying to you. Please answer me. Please answer me. This one, he says, I cried out. I was in trouble. I cried out. He answered me. The answer me part is often not brought up until later in the psalm. It's sort of the same way here. He gives us a synopsis of the entire psalm in the first verse, and then gives us some details. Verse 2, Deliver my soul, O Lord, from lying lips, from a deceitful tongue. So what is this trouble? Somebody's lying about him. Okay? The lips are lying and the tongue is being deceitful. And he's asking God to deliver him. Okay, to save me, to rescue me, to take me away, and to get my soul from this, myself, my life, my being, my emotion. Lord, get me away from this. Verse 3, What shall be given to you, and what more shall be done to you, you deceitful tongue? Oh, so the psalmist is talking about this deceitful tongue. Well, there's obviously a person involved because tongues reside within people. And he's saying, what more do you want me to give you? What more do you want me to do for you? You're lying. You're being deceiving. Verse 4, Sharp arrows of the warrior with burning coals of the broom tree. And that's what how he's describing this deceitful tongue, that the barbs are as sharp as the arrows of the warrior, and that they burn like the coals of a broom tree. And a broom tree is a type of plant. Is that the one that's also called in other portions of the scripture? Let me see. It's a broom tree. Sometimes it's called a juniper tree, I think. It is here in Strong's. Strong's says a juniper tree. And you'll see it in several places. Here is speaking of how that tree could be used to provide like charcoal, coals for a fire. And apparently they would burn a long time and get very hot. And that's what he's saying. This is how this deceitful tongue is. This deceitful tongue is hot as the coals from this broom tree. It's as sharp as the arrows of the warrior. Verse 5, Woe to me, for I sojourn in Meshech, for I dwell among the tents of Kedar. Verse 6, Too long has my soul had its dwelling with those who hate peace. So the psalmist is talking about where he is living, and then he's saying, I have dwelt here too long. I hate, too long my soul's been in these dwellings of these people who hate peace. Hate peace. And you think, well, are there people who hate peace? Oh gosh, are you kidding me? There are people whose whole existence is predicated upon turmoil. There's no doubt. Their entire arenas of faith are based upon hate and turmoil. Now, it's not true faith. It's not faith of the Most High God, no doubt about that. But it's still impactful. If you are sojourning in Meshech, if you're dwelling in the tents of Kedar, okay, and what's that word Kedar means dark. It's actually the name of the son of Ishmael. And it could be a picture of that also. Meshech means drawing out. And Meshech was a son of Japheth, was a grandson of Noah. And so the author is giving us an idea where he's sojourning, where he's dwelling, and he's giving us an idea who it is that's giving him a hard time and what the source of the deceitful tongue is. And he just says, I've been here too long. God, do something. Then the last verse of the psalm is a very short psalm, verse 7. I am peace. Now in English, it says, I am for peace. But the word for is not really there in the original language. But we need it for our understanding, okay? The author is not saying, hey, I'm the source of peace. I'm the one that can do all this. No. But he's saying, I am for peace. I want there to be peace. But he says, but when I speak, they are for war. So the psalmist is saying, I want peace. I have been speaking for peace, but my adversaries, they want war. So what did he do? He cried out to the Lord. He was in trouble. He cried to the Lord. What was the cry? Deliver me. God, deliver my soul from these lying lips. Deliver my soul from the deceitful tongue. And then he deals with what the deceitful tongue said to him. Did to him, sharp arrows, burning coals, that type of thing. But the first verse tells us what the answer was. He cried to the Lord, and the Lord answered him. So the Lord delivered him. The Lord delivered him. Folks, may we do likewise. Even in situations like this, to where it's a deceitful tongue, rather than responding with a foolish tongue, respond seeking the Lord and see what he may do. Well, again, I'm Dale. Thank you for your time. I'll see you next episode. Goodbye.